I am California of the past.
I
I
am
am
California
California
of the past.
I
I am
am
California of the past.
Okay, I'm Fernando Zazueta. I was born in Mexico in 1940 in Culiacan, Sinaloa. I was the youngest of three children who came to California with our single mother, and I was about a year and a half old. Because I was the youngest and my mother had to go to work, my Aunt Aurora and my Uncle Tomas were childless. I was sent to live with them as part of our extended family. They raised me as their own son, and I lived with them until my uncle died when I was about 14 years old. But I continued to live with my aunt until I left for San Jose State at age 17. My Uncle Tom had only 3 years of classroom study in Mexico, but he evidently valued schooling a great deal. Although we moved around from place to place as we followed the crops in the San Joaquin and Santa Clara valleys, he always made it a point to ask the farmers at each new labor camp where the nearest school was until he could personally take me there and in his pickup truck, and that would be for my first day at school, and then say, "I'll see you when you get home." He didn't speak English very well, and left me with the school staff to figure out how to enroll me, what classes I should take, what dirt road to walk down to get back to the labor camp or a farmhouse. I guess what impressed me about my uncle was that he thought getting an education was so important that he took time from his work to personally take me to school. That was highly unusual because he was always busy with the workers and the farmers, but he took time for me and always told me he expected I would one day amount to something beyond being a field worker. That may not sound like much, but it was big enough for me. After I graduated from San Jose State, I applied for a direct commission as an officer in the U.S. Air Force Reserves. The application required listing every place I had ever lived and list all the schools I ever attended. My mother, my aunt, and I, we actually counted 16 different schools from elementary to high school. We lived all over the San Joaquin and Santa Clara valleys. No matter where we were, I got a very good education because the teachers were dedicated to teaching. We had school nurses and lots of counselors to talk to. And even as a migrant farm worker, and even though I and many Latino students spoke little English when we started, we were all given a good opportunity to learn. Even though our families and friends all were poor financially, we had a good sense of ourselves. To me, everyone was in the same boat, everybody worked, and that's just how things were. I wish more children today, especially immigrant Latino kids, could take a moment to think about why their parents brought them here and try to understand the huge sacrifices their parents made to bring them to this country, and why it is so sad to see their children dropping out of school, throwing away the opportunities they've been given. Dropouts don't think about their future and the dead-end jobs many of them will be doing for the rest of their lives. Many do not think they need an education, and some think they're being forced to learn something that they'll never need. I got an education despite all that moving around. Not only did I graduate from high school, I also graduated from college. And because of my college degree, I became an officer in the U.S. Air Force. Because of that degree, I got a job with a bank learning about credit, home mortgages, loans, and how to manage money. Because of my college degree, employers assumed I could learn. And it was no problem for me to change jobs if I wanted to. I got a job as a stockbroker learning about capitalism and helping investors buy and sell stock. After graduation, in 10 years, I went to law school. I went to UC Davis and I became a lawyer. I needed a high school and college degree in order to do that because I knew personally the problems non-English people had generally, and especially in our courts. I helped write the law that requires certification for foreign language court interpreters. I married the girl I met in college, and we just celebrated our 45th anniversary, and we have 3 kids, all college graduates and all successful professionals. Believe me, none of this would have been possible. None of it. without my having first received an education, starting with those 16 schools. It is my hope that young people who get a chance to see or hear this be inspired to not give up in school. My experience can be an example that it is possible to overcome whatever obstacles are placed in your way, so long as you never give up and you dedicate yourself to finishing your classes, finishing your courses, and finishing your schooling. The rest will naturally fall into place. Success will come to you. And one day you too can look back and say that sometimes it took a lot of effort to get your education, but when you look back on your life, as I can, you will agree it is definitely better to be educated than the alternative. Good luck.